2024 is dead. Now 2025 is my best friend. Anyway guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are doing the first annual end-of-year Q&A. TM. So I thought it might be a fun idea to cap off the year with the Q&A style video, because I do enjoy those, and, you know, maybe you do too. And, you know, there's been a recent influx of subscribers this whole year. Like, this channel has been growing at a steady rate, and it keeps getting faster and faster, which is insane to see. Thank you guys all so much for the support. And you clicked on this video for the Q&A, so let's get right into it. First things first, we got one from Foxboxtrot9436, and they say, a few questions in regards to your comic Doomsayer, which is a comic I make. If you don't know, it's a dark fantasy epic, mature audiences only. So, you know, check that out. There's the link in the description. You can check it out. What has been your favorite chapter so far? So, it's usually the one that I'm working on, because with each chapter I try to improve my art, because I do feel like the art is the bigger selling point of a comic, you know what I mean? Even though I think a good story definitely keeps the reader engaged, I do think improving your art as you go is definitely the best part about doing comics. So it's usually whatever chapter I'm working on. So yeah. My favorite character. That's really tough to say. It's like picking your favorite child, you know what I mean? I guess my favorite characters are like, probably the ones I don't mind drawing like 100 times over, 1,000, 1,000,000 times over. So that would probably be either Anna or the Queen. I mean, some of the other characters that I do like, I like Hannah because she's sort of like the comic relief character. It's always fun to draw her doing her shenanigans. I think Mike's pretty cool, even though, like, so far, 95% of the scenes he's been in, he's kind of been an asshole. But, I think my one character arc that I have planned that isn't, like, completed yet, I do like the Emperor Oshida, too. He's sort of, like, in the beginning of his sole character arc. I do have the planned ending of this arc. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know, anybody else? I do like writing dialogue for Alyssa, you know. I think I like her personality type. She's always fun to write. The Queen, too, in terms of writing, because of how goddamn evil she is, you know. It's always fun to write a villain that's, like, super ridiculously evil. Actually, let me ask you something. Who's your favorite character? No, seriously, tell me so I can make, like, prints and stuff. But yeah, if you haven't checked out the comic, check it out down below. They also ask any cool facts you want to share. Every chapter since chapter 3 has been named after what I would consider a classic metal song, so. Oh yeah, actually one more fun little fact. You know that character quirk, how the Queen was always barefoot? That's not fetish bait. That is literally me making a mistake drawing the first page, and then just kind of like going with it for that one scene, and then realizing like, this could be a fun little character quirk. So, yeah, there's that. So thank you for the questions, Foxboxtrot. Next is Live2Art, who's always posting cool art in the Discord. Check out the Discord, link below. And they say, who is your favorite artist? That's a tough question. I do have some favorites, but I don't really have one specific favorite, you know? I mean, I do like some of the manga guys. I'm looking back here at my collection, you know, obviously Kentaro Miura, Yusuke Murata, Junji Ito, Akira Toriyama, just for the sheer impact and influence. You know, some of the more classical painters. I do like Michelangelo, Armistesia Gentileschi from the Renaissance, very underrated Renaissance artist. Hieronymus Bosch. You know, some of the internet artists, I guess you could say, like Maxime Tacardi, it's really good. Guiez, you know, Walap, you know, the big boys, they're popular for a reason. But yeah, I guess those are a couple I'm just throwing out there. I did do a video listing like some of my favorites. Anna Yada is a really good artist that I like her stuff a lot too. Moving on, what's your favorite art genre style? Surrealism. Dark surrealism. Or NSFW. And not because I'm a degenerate. Okay, maybe a little. But just because of the skill that some of these NSFW artists have, like... It's like, why are you so good at drawing? Like, why would you do this with your skills? It's like, Actually, the better question is, why wouldn't you do that with your skills? Anyway, next question. Who do you look up to most in the art world? That's a little bit difficult to say. Like, who's like a role model? I don't know, man. I mean, there's artists I like, but like I don't really dig into like everybody's personal life stories. I don't know. I guess maybe Kentaro Miura, looking back there at my Berserks over there, because of just how much dedication and time he gave to his craft and how much he cared about it. It took him 8 fucking years to get Guts across the ocean. Just because he was like, I need to make the art better. So yeah, I guess him. And what inspires my own creations? Everything. Life, experiences, stories, media, interactions, books, just everything's inspiration if you really know how to use it. So, yeah. Also, I want to get better. I want to keep getting better, okay? This is like one of those things where it's like, there's no end. You keep progressing. Art is a forever game. So, next question. We got one from I Make Art. It says, have you ever tried or thought about making an animation before? Yes. If you actually go back into my channel, look up some older videos back when I was doing more drawing style videos instead of these like comic reviews / art history investigation style videos. I have done a few like really short, really crude, rudimentary animations in what was the Adobe one? Animate. I tried that one out back when I had Adobe. If I ever do give it another swing, definitely gonna try something other than Adobe's garbage. Because most animators actually don't use that. That was formerly Flash, if you don't know. But yeah, I always thought animation was really cool. And, I got like a ton of respect for animators. It's really hard. It's like way harder than you think. Especially like if you've seen like some of these more like smooth cuts, I think Jujutsu Kaisen is a recent example of something that like animators went like ridiculous on. That like if you look like, Jesus Christ, this must have taken forever. And the animators were like all gonna end themselves over it because of how much work they were putting in. But yeah, that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, I think animation is cool. I might take another swing at it. I don't know. I did a couple short ones based off of like those like 50-second meme videos from way back in the day. Like those. You could stop at 5 or 6 stores. I think that's my favorite animation here. I'll put it right here if I still have the video.
I didn't just splatter paint. I was my paint.
But yeah, animation is really cool. I might give it another swing, but I'm just not very good at it. I don't know what software to use that would be the best for it. All right, next question from Brandy6650. What are some of your favorite shows and manga? As for manga, my favorite is Berserk, obviously. Yeah, enough said. Shows, like TV shows, my favorite TV show is The Wire. If you haven't watched The Wire, I highly recommend it. It's like the best show ever. Oh, Lost was a really good TV show. I like that one too. Had a great soundtrack. Yeah, so moving on. I'm trying to think. I don't really watch too much TV anymore. Angdrasil2, who's always posting cool art in the Discord. Again, check out the Discord. How do you deal with stress and imposter syndrome? Well, first of all, I don't have imposter syndrome. I've been at this for a very, very long time. Its recent influx in subscribers is great. And, like, I'm very grateful and thankful for you guys for subscribing and checking out the content and enjoying the content and leaving feedback. But I've been doing videos here on this channel since 2019, okay? So, I don't have imposter syndrome. I put the work in. The further along I get, the more I'm like, yeah, it's finally starting to pay off. But, yeah, I guess the whole thing with the whole imposter syndrome thing is sort of like you just gotta think that anybody can do it. All right, anybody, just a little tiny bit of luck, just a smidge of luck and a lot of hard work, you could do this too. Okay, there's nothing stopping you. You just gotta educate yourself on like what you gotta do. You want to be a YouTuber, look into cameras, audio equipment, that kind of thing, editing software. Maybe like watch a few videos on editing, storytelling. But yeah, anybody can do this. You look at like, I don't know, famous people, like big musicians, right? Metallica, right? The biggest metal band in the world. Literally, anybody could have did it too. You know what I mean? Like those guys came together and put out something that people loved, you could do it too. Now, you might not be as big as Metallica, but, you know, if you really put a lot of work and effort into it, yeah, you might get somewhere. Just a little bit of luck. Anyway, as for stress, I don't deal with stress. I just live with it, okay? Listen, that's just how it is. You know, I like exercise semi-regularly. I really should exercise more. I like playing video games. It's always fun, you know, to beat people up in Yakuza or something. Obviously, drawing's always like, I always found drawing more meditative than like a stressful thing. Even like when I'm doing something that's kind of difficult, where I'm trying to process like, all right, this perspective and this anatomy and all that. I always found it more of a calming experience. I don't really have that much stress, but the stress I do have, I do live with it. You know what I mean? So, you know, you just kind of got to accept it as part of you. And the last question on the first post is from Criminal Dojang Jagai. How did you get into art? I was born with a pencil in my hand. Hard to say. It's just I've always been doing it since I was young. Just I think everybody does. And I think the difference is some people just stick with it and other kids just kind of grow out of it. And I just kind of stuck with it. So moving on to the second and last post, we got one from Typhoon Boom. Good name. Typhoon Boom. What are some of your favorite series and why? I'm guessing you mean TV shows. Like I mentioned before, The Wire, best TV show ever. I guess some of the other shows, I guess I like crime dramas, Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, you know, well, older crime dramas. I don't really know anything about like the newer shows coming out. I don't know, I'm a fucking boomer. I don't like new stuff. But yeah, you know, The Wire, I think, is like one of the best shows. It's like so good. The writing is so good in that show. It's got so many quotable lines. It has like my favorite scene ever in American TV, which I'm going to actually put it right here. And if I get copyright claimed and cut, and there's a weird jump cut, that's why. But here it is.
You are amoral, are you not? You are feeding off the violence and the despair of the drug trade. You're stealing from those who themselves are stealing the lifeblood from our city. You are a parasite who leeches off
just like you,
the culture of drugs. Excuse me? What?
I got the shotgun. You got the briefcase. It's on the game though, right?
Yeah, so that was my favorite scene. I love that scene. Rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. But yeah, The Wire, best show ever. Next, from Live to Art again. Do you have any pets? If so, what are their names/species? I don't have any pets. I do like animals, you know. Cats and dogs, they're cute, you know. If I see them around, I want to pet them, but, you know, you can't just approach somebody's dog and be like, come here. The thing is, if I had pets, I wouldn't really have anybody to take care of them when I'm not home, you know what I mean? I don't know, I just don't have a very big social circle. That's why I make YouTube videos. But we had fish when I was a kid. But, you know, cleaning the aquarium's a pain in the ass. Aquarium, fish tank, whatever. But yeah, I do like cats and dogs and, you know, like the little like gerbils and hamsters. Those guys are cute. You know, I'm not like a vegan or anything, but, you know, I like animals. But yeah, I'm super allergic to cats, you know, which sucks because they're so goddamn cute. Plus, every girl I've ever liked has had a cat, so such is the folly of man or whatever. Isn't that funny? Alright, next question is from... Let me adjust this mic. Next question is from Sayafika Hisham 1740. That's a name. Anyway, they say, what type of comics did you like the most and why? Well, obviously, I'm more of a manga guy than a comics guy. I did read a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man back in the day, the original Ultimate Spider-Man. That's sort of my favorite, like, superhero comic from back in the day. You know, in terms of genre, probably fantasy, dark fantasy. I mean, I do make a dark fantasy comic. You know, I like the genre. Horror is always fun, too. I always like horror. I always liked horror, even when I was a kid. I do like adult comics every now and again just because of the bizarre, insane plots, and usually the art is, like, really, really, really good. Not all the time, like, every once in a while. And, you know, I like, I've been reading, like a lot of like romance manga every now and again. So those are always fun. It's cute. Wholesome. Sometimes you need something like a little bit more lighthearted. So yeah, I guess those are the types of comics I like. I'm getting a little bit more into the webcomics format because of the videos, because I just had the idea one day to start reviewing them, even though I'm not that familiar with webcomics. More like the printed, like in heavy circulation comics I'm more familiar with. But I do think getting into webcomics is definitely more interesting to like have a broader swath of ideas in your pool of literature. Wow, that was the most pretentious sentence I've ever said. Let's move on. Anyway, next says, I make art. Have you ever wanted to learn how to... Okay, I'm guessing they just think I didn't see the question from before, which I did, and I did answer. But yes, I would like to take another swing at animation, but it's really fucking hard. Also, I'm not sure what software to check out. I don't want to try Adobe again. I'm not giving them another dime. Anyway, next question. Octblast. Or Octblast. OC Blast? Zero C Blast. Whatever. What is your favorite types of cookies? Keep up the cool content. Thanks and bye. Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for watching. As for the cookies, I do like cookies. I'm not really that much of a sweets guy, but I do enjoy a nice good cookie. I like the classic, chocolate chip. I love a black and white cookie, Love a good black and white cookie. You know what's good? Those like Keebler ones. Oh, I forget the name of them. They have like the fudge on the bottom, and it's like the crunchy wafer, and they got the drizzle on top. I like those. Oreos, classic. The regular ones, not these bizarre flavors they got out now. But yeah, those are a couple of my favorites. Good old fashioned Chips Ahoy. I'm more of a salty guy than a sweet guy. Frank C. R. Draw says, do you have any tips on perspective? I know how to get it from above, right? But when it comes from down below, I'm sloppy. The only thing I can really say is practice. It's like one of those things you got to keep working on. Maybe look at like 3D modeling a little bit. Might give you like a little bit more thoughts on thinking spatially. I would recommend drawing comics, like I said in that video from a couple months back, where I thought that drawing comics is a better way to practice drawing rather than just like taking art lessons and doing exercises, because to make an engaging comic you got to move that camera around, right? So like, all right, this next shot's got to be establishing. Let's do like a top-down shot. All right, we got to portray this character as like the righteous party or whatever, so we got to put them like from the worm's eye view looking down on the other characters or something like that. So I would recommend comics. I would also, for a couple of books I'd recommend, you can get them from what the hell was it? It was Kim Jong-gi's company, Super Annie .us or whatever. Just look them up. This isn't actually what I meant to pull out, but this is a really good anatomy book, Stonehouse Anatomy, by Seong Hyun Seok. Yeah, I can't read Korean names, but this is a really good anatomy book if you want to learn some more anatomy. But the main thing I wanted to pull out was this one, Space Drawing Perspective by Dong Ho Kim. This is definitely the best book on perspective I've ever read. It breaks it down like really simple, and like, obviously simple to complex. That's how it goes, right? You know what I mean? When you learn guitar, the first riff you learn is Smoke on the Water, and then 3 years later you're playing like technical death metal. You know what I mean? So like they break it down really simple in this book, and then like build it up to like, more complex illustrations. So I'd recommend this book, and I also recommend this book if you want to get better at anatomy while I have you here. So good books, study them. Do a couple of exercises, but I'd also recommend drawing comics to get better at art, and just draw. I know that's not great advice, but seriously, sometimes you just gotta get better at doing the thing by doing the thing, right? You know what I mean? It's like playing guitar, right? You gotta like get used to physically putting your fingers on the strings and getting your fingers all callous so you can like play it better. All right, so those are my tips. I'm not the best on perspective, so that's what I'd recommend. Next is Bat Bites the Bat. Okay. Why out of all Why out of all names to ever name are you named John? Did you choose it or is it your actual name? Yeah, my name is actually Jabroni. No. No, yes, John is my actual name. Believe it or not. I used to have the channel just be my full name, which you can still see in like the little tag, which is fine. I don't really care. But yeah, it's just I figured I'd just shorten it to just John, just to be like, yeah, I'm just a normal guy like you watching, you know. So yeah, I guess that's just the name. It is my actual name. Okay. All right. Next, we got one from ZSA T701 or Zizat 701, whatever. What are your favorite games? Yakuza. Yakuza is the best ever. Okay? Love Yakuza. That is by far my favorite franchise ever. It's one of the ones that I buy day one, pre-order even. Alright, they always come out like perfectly polished, alright? It's not like these other modern games that come out broken. The stories are always good and engaging, the characters are awesome, the fighting is so good. I love the RPG ones too. I hope they like iterate on that in the next mainline entry and like make it better, where you don't have to wait for your party members to come into the circle to fucking heal them. But yeah, Yakuza is by far my favorite series. As for other games that I like the GTA games, the older ones. GTA 4 is my favorite. I actually recently played through Persona 5 Royal. I had a ton of fun with that. I like JRPG every now and again. So that was a lot of fun. Actually, let me pull up Steam real quick. I have so many games. What have I been playing? I've been playing Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which is like a 2D Dragon Ball kind of game. It's tons of fun. Oh yeah, I used to love the Assassin's Creed games. I have like all of them in my library. It's like 15. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Oh, those Arkham Batman games were fun. BioShock. Yeah, those are classics. I like the first one the best, though. I feel like they got, like, progressively worse. Especially Infinite. Infinite kind of felt like shoot a bunch of dudes, go through a hallway, pick up a bunch of stuff, shoot a bunch of dudes, rinse and repeat. At least with the original BioShock, they definitely had that, like, survival horror element to it. Let's see, what else we got in here? Oh, Burnout. You remember the Burnout games? I fucking love those. I wish they would come back. Let's see, what else? Crash Bandicoot, right? PS1 era. Devil May Cry. I got really into that a little while back. Like maybe 2 years ago or something like that. Let's see, what else we got? Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls is a weird game that I never really, like, sat down and played through the story. I would just go around killing everybody. I don't know why. Usually in those games where they have like a morality system, I usually try to be a good guy, but the Elder Scrolls games, I'm just a bastard in those. Alright, what else we got? Oh, I just got the Fear games. Haven't played those yet. Final Fantasy, I started playing those. I'm on 3 with those pixel remasters they put out a while back. I liked it. I liked 1. 1 was a lot of fun. 2 had that weird leveling system, but I didn't hate it as much as the fans do. I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun, even though it had that weird leveling system. But yeah, I'm working my way through that too, on and off. What else we got? What else do we got? Oh, Mirror's Edge. You guys remember Mirror's Edge? Wish that would come back. And without the combat. The free running? So good. Oh yeah, Mega Man X. I got some of the Mega Man games here. I like the Mega Man X series. Okami, classic game. Crazy that they're making a sequel. I think that's probably the best thing that happened at the Game Awards. Everything else was awful. There's the Persona games. I only played 5, and the really shitty Dynasty Warriors one. Resident Evil. Oh man, I got obsessed with Resident Evil like a year and a half ago. I like binged them. I love Resident Evil. I think my favorite was probably 7. Then they toned down the horror in 8 because the game journalist said it was too scary. Fucking assholes. What else we got in here? Sonic, of course. Love me some Sonic. Maybe not so much after that comic review I did a while back. Steins Gate. Oh yeah, I like a visual novel every now and again. Oh yeah, I got all of Tomb Raider for like $10 a while back. Not even. Tried playing the originals. Controls are ass. Pure Euro jank. I I have the whole Witcher trilogy, but I never played them. I got them for like $5 like years ago. I don't know. I played a little bit of the first one. It was shit. The first game is bad. Straight up, the first Witcher is a bad game. I played a little bit of the second one, and it was like okay, and I just kind of gave up. But yeah, Yakuza is definitely my favorite. Anyway, I spent too much time on this question. Let's move along. Kevin Laird 8321 says, "What's your favorite Berserk panel?" Probably that one of Griffith in the river with the bale lit, right after they rescue him, right before the eclipse happens. I don't know, that's just such a cinematic, beautiful panel. You know what I mean? It's like almost like showing the end of an era. I love that panel. Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm trying to think. There's so many good panels. I mean, the horse, just for meme factor. Oh, yeah, it's not really a panel. It's like a full page. It's not a double page spread. It's a full page. It's that scene where Guts puts Shirk's hat on. I love that page. There's also that one, like, during the eclipse where Griffith's having the flashbacks to, like, how much Guts made him forget his dream, where they have them, like, frolicking through the battlefield. That panel fucking hits, man. I mean, any scene of Casca killing dudes, I'm so happy she's killing dudes again. But yeah, like that whole manga is just like Renaissance painting after Renaissance painting. Oh, there's also that one in the later chapters. It's a series of double page spreads, the Demonic Release. I feel like that's a very underrated set of double page spreads. I love how they're like Miura is just flexing. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do 10 in a row. Fuck you. Beautiful manga. I pull it out and just look at it once in a while. Next and last question, unless one came up while I was recording. No, that's the last one. Criminal Dojang Jugai asks another one. And they say, how do you apply what you learn in studies to illustrations, whether it be projects or just for fun? I don't really do studies too much, even though I really should. I just, like, draw comics, man. That's what I'm doing. I'm always pulling up, like, reference images and stuff and, like, referencing back, If sometimes there's, like, something where I gotta draw, like, a certain thing, and, like, I look over at my bookshelf, and because the way I draw kind of, like, in a manga style, I'm, like, say, like, I gotta draw some kind of monster, I pull out a Junji Ito, look at some of his stuff. If I gotta draw trees, I pull out Claymore because that manga has really good trees. I know, it's weird. Rock formations, I pull out Fist of the North Star because Tetsuo Ohara is good at drawing buff jack dudes, but he is really underrated when it comes to drawing rocks. I'm not kidding. But, yeah. I don't know. I just fucking draw. I know, I'm not as terrible. All these other, like, art YouTubers are like, oh, you gotta do your studies. You gotta practice your 3-point perspective. You need to do life drawing. I don't know why I'm doing, like, an Ergo Josh voice. I like Josh. Yeah, I just fucking draw, At the end of the day, just fucking draw. Remember why you started, because you love drawing, right? Which is one of the things, if I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, is, like, these AI guys. They're like, oh, I could just type it in and have art. Like, do you not, like, enjoy the process of creating art? Like, do you not enjoy the physical act of, like, putting lines or paint or pixels down? Like, I don't get it. That's why I'm never going to stop drawing no matter how bad this whole AI art slop gets. I'm just, like, I like the physical act of drawing. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, it's meditative. Anyway, that was the last question. Thank you guys all so much for subscribing, liking, commenting, supporting, all that stuff. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. Wishing you a Happy New Year. If you don't celebrate any of these end-of-year holidays, Hanukkah, Ramadan, Diwali, whatever. I'm sure some of those probably already passed. Just have a good end of year, And I will be back next week with a video. Oh yeah, one more thing before you go. Patreon, January 1st, $2 a month. You get your name in the credits. You get day early access to my videos. You get Doomsayer pages as they're finished rather than when the chapter is complete. So instead of waiting for chapters, you get pages as they're done. Okay? That's not like a daily thing. That's just like when the pages are done. All right? Because it takes me forever to draw it. So if you're into Doomsayer and want early access to the next chapter as the pages are finished, I put them on Patreon rather than when the chapter's complete. Check out the Patreon. And you get my humble and undying gratitude. $2 a month. So check that out on January 1st. I'll put it up in a community post and I'll mention it in the first video of next year. But yeah, Patreon's going to be launched January 1st. Oh, I forgot. You also get monthly desktop wallpaper, phone wallpaper, tablet wallpaper, all different art. So there's that. Boom. Oh yeah, little insert here. I forgot to mention, check out the second channel. I mostly do music stuff over there. I'm probably going to be uploading more to it next year, so check it out. You know, I post my own music. I talk about music. It's like mainly a music focused channel. Occasional shit post, but check it out, you know, if you like that stuff. Okay, back to Flesh John. All right, thank you so much for watching. I've been John. You've been great. I will see you next year.